From Drive to La La Land, The Notebook to The Nice Guys, aside from literally being me, Ryan Gosling has cemented himself as one of the most versatile actors of all time. And in The Fall Guy, Gosling does what he has always done best, but basically all at once, with a romantic story at its core and over-the-top action all around. I got to see The Fall Guy at its world premiere at South by Southwest, and with grand entrances from the entire cast to an absolutely electric theater experience, I loved almost everything about this movie.
What happened to your face? You look terrible.
You look amazing.
I had no choice. I had to do something. Jason Bourne shit.
You fall down, you get right back up.
I'll buy you a drink when this is over. Engage your core.
Also, I want to let you guys know you can check out an extended version of this video on my Patreon for free today, along with exclusive videos, early access to videos, and extended podcast episodes, and much, much more. So again, you can join for free today, link in the description down below. And before we get into it, as always, let me know you guys thought of The Fall Guy in the comments down below. Both wasting any more time, let's get right into it. The Fall Guy is definitely based in action through and through, but before I get into the action, I want to talk about the story because I feel like it's the driving force with this movie, and there's kind of two different elements to this movie. There's a mystery story aspect and then a love interest aspect, and honestly, I think the mystery aspect is what works the least about this movie, even though I don't think it's bad per se. And I'm gonna get into the love story in just a second here, but this is a stunt movie about making stunts and the behind the scenes of all that type of work, and this is where you really get the love of making movies aspect of this film, and that's what's intertwined with the mystery of it all. I think the mystery definitely pushes it forward, and you definitely see the main story progress through a mystery type of story structure. And honestly, the mystery is where a lot of the comedy in this movie does come from, because that's where Ryan Gosling kind of gets to do his own oblivious humor, and it works really, really well.
It's too dangerous. Gotta be stairs. Okay.
The entire theater was going crazy. Everyone found this absolutely hilarious. And I will say, in terms of the mystery element of this film, none of the revelations that keep this movie moving forward are super world changing. And I'll get into some of the nitpicks I have in terms of like, why didn't the cops show up? But for now, in terms of the week to week kind of style of discovery, I think it works. I think it's good enough. It makes the mystery story sufficient enough to keep you entertained in between the moments of the love story. And it's a nice way to take away from the love story as well. Like, this is the reason why he's not able to do certain things within the love story. And so that has a really cool, you know, side to side and entanglement, if you must say. And then to the core love story of it all, Emily Blunt plays the love interest, obviously. And this movie is so based in the love story that you could really take out the entirety of the mystery element of it, and it could still be a fully sufficient story. I really think the mystery aspect was just put there to put more stunts into the movie, really, and I think that's how the original TV show that this is based off of worked. But honestly, they could have just taken this in a completely different direction, and it still would have worked. I'm not saying it doesn't work right now. I actually think it works really, really well. It is able to implement a bunch of action into this love story, and the way that the story kind of surrounds Emily Blunt's character is that she's the director of a movie that Ryan Gosling is a stuntman in, and then they have to confront different things about their relationship in the past. And within the love story, I will say, a lot of the laughs just come from Gosling and Blunt's chemistry. I think they're so exciting on screen together. It doesn't like scream Emma Stone and Margot Robbie and stuff like that, but it's exciting for a story that is more lighthearted, and I think it really does work here. You also have Hannah Whittingham, Winston Duke, and 70 Shoe as other great additions within this cast. I think everyone has a good role. And speaking of Ryan Gosling, to give you an idea of what this performance feels like, it's like a mix of Crazy Stupid Love, Nice Guys, and then a little bit of Barbie. And I feel like he evolves throughout all of these different types of characters throughout the entirety of this film. And it's super exciting. It's super fun. It feels like he's getting that like yearning to an extent of like approval and just trying to not be his best self, but kind of make sure that he's the best self for other people, which is kind of what we got in Barbie. But in Barbie, I definitely feel like it was more woman focused in terms of like, oh, he's trying to do this for her, for her, for her. And we get that, and I love that's an awesome aspect of all of his characters. I find that to be hilarious. But here, it's also in the extent of trying to find that approval in his work and trying to get back into the stunt industry. And I find that to be a really, really great addition as well. It's not this super loner type of character the entirety of the film, but the moments that it is, it works super duper well. And I really am excited for just more memes about this movie. And to top it off, the action in this movie is super fun. And to put it simply, I feel like it couldn't not be fun. This is a movie of the behind the scenes of stunts in a stunt movie filled with stunt men. This has no right not to be fun. There are a plethora of set pieces and different types of scenes. I will say the main thing I loved about this movie, and it kind of is a testament to the entirety of the filmmaking process behind this movie, is that the peak moment for the action itself wasn't even in the final battle. It was in a big sequence before the final battle, and then they transitioned to the final battle, which is absolutely just as epic. But it kind of hones in the action fireball element of it, and it kind of goes into the emotional element of it, while still being super badass and super exciting. I'm just super blown away by the fact that David Leitch, of all people, who did Hobbs and Shaw and Deadpool 2, which Deadpool 2 is pretty great, but then Hobbs and Shaw is Hobbs and Shaw. So you get these two very polar opposite movies that are based in the same realm of action. And then you get The Fall Guy. This is a hand-to-hand classic like Leitch has always delivered to us. I will say there's more slow motion than Leitch has ever used, but I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. And I do quickly want to mention my small complaints about this movie. And my only complaint is that this movie has really weird feeling pacing. It's not bad. It's just really, really weird because I felt like this movie was going to end 20 minutes before it actually did. That's not to say the last 20 minutes aren't good. Like I said, it's probably the most emotionally charged part of this movie. But the movie as a whole just feels really off pacing wise because you think it's over and then it adds so much more time. But guys, that wraps up my thoughts on The Fall Guy. Before I give you my score, if you want to check out the extended version of this video, you can check it on my Patreon along with exclusive videos, extended podcast episodes, and much, much more for free today. Link in the description down below. But The Fall Guy is super exciting. It's exhilarating. It will be the big movie of this summer, in my opinion. Ryan Gosling is back at it, just doing what he does best. He's empathetic, he's yearning for approval, yet he's just a badass stuntman. I'm so excited for more people to see this movie. When you guys see it, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. But I'm going to give David Leitch's The Fall Guy an 8.5 out of 10. Again, a big blockbuster movie that is a must-watch in theaters, in my personal opinion. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.